Hello, everyone. Welcome to BizChicks TV. This is the place where you can find tips and tools to help you do business better. We're here to help you run a profitable business that's fun to run and to take the hassle out of your hustle. And today we are here with Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. She's in the house and she is getting ready to lay it on us. We have a fabulous topic for you today. We hope you'll sit back and join in the conversation. How you doing this morning, Coach?
Good, good.
Good. What is our topic today?
Today we're talking about temporary problems because that's what they are. They're so temporary, even when they
Ooh,
weigh our shoulders down.
mm, okay.
And
Temporary problems.
yeah, everything's just so temporary that we really have to see that way when it's happening. Especially the things that's not, it's out of our control. We want to control it, so that's part of the problem that's happening. And we could, to a certain extent, if it's things that we can solve, but we should always go to the Father with it. But still, for the humans and the things that we can solve, we need to get in there and do it, right? So the first question is, why do we feel it's permanent? Like, what is that feeling of permanency? Because it's that
Mm,
permanency feeling that causes this eruption and there's no way to turn, there's no way to go, and what have you.
uh-huh.
And then I want you to look at it because I'm talking money. I'm going to talk a little bit of other things, but I'm talking money in this sense here. Are you poor? Are you broke? You need to know which statement is true for you to your core. You need to understand. If you don't know, you need to go look up what is poor and what is being broke. And then
Mm,
categorize yourself and then work on all the steps that will take you out of that mindset, that framing of words, the way you talk to yourself, because we talk to ourselves 7/24, always and always, even when we're not moving our lips, we are talking to ourselves. So you need to know where you are, where you land.
that's true. What kind of internal chatter do we have going
Mm-hmm.
on?
Yeah. And then how long will I stay in this state? Like, those, this is a question. How long will I stay in this state?
Mm,
And I don't know what's happening when I'm going to know how long will I stay in this state. Now, there's radical things you can do, and most people say to me, Karen, I'm not going to do those things. And there's quiet things you can do. I'm going to tell you, the radical will move you faster. It will just move you faster. It's not nice, it's not pretty, it's not wrapped up in a bow, but it's going to move you faster
mm.
than the other one. So let's dive right in. Like, why do we
Okay.
feel it's permanent? Before A, because we feel it's out of our control. But anytime you feel something is out of your control, I want you to stop, pause, and ask yourself, why? Second question, what can I do about it? And whatever answer you get, go do that thing. Now, the thing that you're going to get, most time, the answers feels like it's outside of what you're asking. But it comes full circle and it leads you back. I told a friend this the other day, and I'm saying it here. Life is about circles. The earth is round. Life is about circle. And if you understand that most times you're in a circle, either the beginning, the middle, or the end, are you closing that circle or are you now opening the circle? You need to know where you stand. And I'll give you an example to understand why, how this is done, right? So this woman got a divorce. She had 5 kids and she got divorced. She was closing that circle, but she didn't want to close it, right? Her husband came and asked for divorce because she wasn't ready yet for the divorce. It's out of her control. There's
Mm-hmm.
this temporary problem that she's thinking is permanent, right? Oh my gosh, I'm getting a divorce. What am I going to do? Well, that circle was closing for many reasons, you know, cheating and lying and all kind of money problems. There's so much thing happening in that circle. And not because it wasn't fixable. That's not what I'm here to tell you. I'm not debating that. I'm just telling you, he came and asked a divorce and he was leaving. That was a
Mm-hmm.
circle to close. She wanted to keep it open. So what is she doing? She's waiting, preparing, and getting everything ready for him to come back, which he never did, by the way. So she wasn't willing to close the circle. I stepped in and I said the circle needs to be closed because he's not coming back. But because she didn't want to close the circle immediately, she ended up dating somebody else to prolong the circle, which didn't end up well. And she dated like
Mm-hmm.
3 people before she realized the circle could close. Once the circle was closed, she started seeing progress. And that's what problems are. That's what problems are. When you understand that it's something you can close off, I'm not saying you're going to forget it. I'm not saying
Mhm.
you're going to think about it, but close it off, which means you wouldn't allow, in her case, somebody else to come and take that place because she wasn't healed yet from the divorce. She wasn't looked after body, mind, and soul, and financially for sure because she was a stay-at-home mom. So she was just in deep, deeper than deep feelings of the rug get pulled out from under her.
Mm. Mhm.
Just
Well,
losing the way of life.
yes. Mark has a comment here. Do you want me to put it up right now, or
Yes, yes, go ahead.
okay? Says your life begins to transform once you are able to adapt the belief that everything that happens to you happens for you, but you must allow it. What is the opportunity in this for me? Mhm. And I think that's what you just said,
Hmm.
getting there.
Yeah,
She had to get there.
yeah, yeah. So getting there, I know it's not easy. I understand. And it feels like there's nothing you could do. When in truth, you could do something. Now,
Hmm.
for the woman who might get up and do things, people say, well, this didn't bother her, or you could see she really didn't love the guy, or some nonsense they might come up with. But this is everybody copes differently. And some people cope is get up, clean my house, look after my kids, get myself together. And that's how they're coping. And
Hmm.
that's how they're moving. Movement is so important, though. Movement is so important. Like, I will not dare get up and tell somebody, if they're in depression, that it's not real. I had been in depression in different segments in my lifetime. And the first one, I didn't know I was in it. And I was a young lady, I didn't hit 20 yet. I was just 18. And my mom watched me just spend 18 to 19 doing absolutely nothing. People who knew me cannot believe it because I'm always a go getter and go do. I got up in the morning and I helped her with my young siblings. And the minute she leaves, I pick up a book and I would just read. That's how I handle mine. Like, I just read books after books. I was just
Hmm.
devouring books. But I didn't really want to do anything. Guyana is hot, so I have to bathe my skin. If not, I probably wouldn't have a shower. So I have to have two showers because it's just hot. It didn't matter
Yeah.
how much fan or what you got. It's just a hot place. So I'm having showers so to the naked eye. But I'm hiding from people. Like, I would tell my siblings to tell my friends, if they come to see me, I'm not home. I would do all those hiding nonsense. I would, people call out to me and I wouldn't answer them. And I would
Hmm.
just be hiding, running away from my problems, right? And it's so temporary. It is so temporary, but I couldn't see that at the time. And that's what happens. Most times we can't see it, so we see it as permanency. This is
Hmm.
why permanency is so fluid too, that when you have money, you don't take care of it, the money just evaporates itself. That also is not
Hmm.
permanent if you're not doing anything.
Well, Mark says it's such a great thing, Karen. Things never change from the comfort of the couch.
Never, Mark, never change.
Hmm.
Never change. So you got to get up and you got to stare it in the face. It's a hard one, folks. You got to get up and do something. I don't care if it's go for a walk, take a run, but you got to be asking yourself those questions. You're ready. You need to get in there and ask, what is happening? What can I do about it? And even
Hmm.
if it says go take a shower, go take a shower, eat something, go eat something, because those things are movements and they're going to get your juices flowing. And I know it depends on how deep it is, but please, as soon as you start see it happening, start getting the visual and getting in there and doing it. The next question I want you to ask yourself, if you're in the money situation problems, is, are you broke or are you poor?
Mm.
And depending on where you fall, the same rules apply. Like, you got to figure out how you can get out of it. Now, the state of poorness is how you always have been. So in your head, like, this is how I always am. I come from a poor family. Like, not for the people who get up and get, because that's not who we're talking to. They know to get up and get. But for the people who feel this is ancestry, this is where I've always been, this is who we are. We're poor people. I mean, as soon as I get a paycheck, it's finished. Kind of the money's finished before I even change my check. And all these kind of things that come back to me. You don't know how it feels. This has happened. Friends, family, like, they'll just say, like, you don't know, and I'm like, We all live this life. But anyway, you have to decide that you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be, if you put yourself in the category that you're poor, you're not going to be anymore. And if you put yourself in the category of brokenness, well, to me, that's a little easier to get out of than the poor section, because the poor section is so embedded in you that for a person who has decided that they're poor,
Mm-hmm.
it is really hard. It's just like a person who decides they're rich. If they lose all the money because they live a rich life, they're going to work hard to get back in the arena. And they will never move from the circle of being rich, by the way, because this is how and who they've always been, even if the money is not inside of their hands.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd had admired that about people who have money, who I know their life went up to the shit show, and they still live the life. Yes, they couldn't do certain things, but they still live the life. That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm going. And what's next? And how do I get there? In pain,
Mm-hmm.
in fear, and everything that's happening to them. Now, not everybody, but there's the people who do this and they keep going. It goes to the same thing. If I'm broke, so let's speak about the broke people. If I'm broke right now, what can I do to get money right this minute? You're gonna write a whole list of all the things you know how to do. Once you write that the list, though, people like say, "Well, go down the road and write list." You can't. Only write that list. I want you to write next to the list what you're gonna do about the things you could do. Okay, so I could, make hats. Who am I gonna sell it to? How fast could I sell the hat? Do I have the things in my hand right now to make the hat? Am I willing to get out there and showcase myself with the hat? Like, am I going to do it? Right now? We're social media crazy. So it's just, you can do it. Get out there and do it. Am I going to do it every day? Am I going to be fed up with myself from doing it? Like, you need to answer those questions, not me. You have to answer those questions, because those questions is going to make you pick the one for today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell you, once you pick whatever it is, all the gremlins are coming for you so that it doesn't happen. Facts. All the gremlins are coming for you. That's why you got to pick the one that you know you can power through. Pick the one you can power through. Don't get distracted in a new one. I'm multi passionate,
Mm-hmm.
but everything had started off in one area and grow into other areas. And it just makes sense. Like, I love doing needlepoint.
Okay.
And although I love doing needlepoint, I knew that food made me more money. So I sell food. That's
Mm-hmm.
right away. That's every day. And needlepoint was still there. And, you can order a needlepoint for me and you get it in a week or two. And everybody knew it took 7 to 14 days to receive it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got the money up front, I still had to put in the work behind. Food now, people pay me and they get the money within, that day. I bring the food, or when I was in Guyana, right away. So I knew that was right away money. And I'm not going to be broke anymore if I'm getting right away money. So I've solved that problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I am still feeling poor, though, while I'm solving that problem, I am going to give away all the money that I just made from being broke. And people say, Karen, why would I give away my money? You will. Here's how you're going to give away your money. I'm going to tell you right now. Your auntie, your uncle, your cousin, and anybody who know you see that you're thriving, and they're going to come for money. And here's the forms they're going to come in. They're going to ask you. They're going to come to trust from you, which is credit in North America. They come to credit from you. They're going to pay you later, and something's going to happen. This is how they're going to come and collect your money. And somebody's going
Mm-hmm.
to get sick, and you're going to feel so bad that you want to help them with the money that you just got yourself out of your broke state from. Can I emphasize this?
Yes, please.
And
I
then you feel
see.
like, you feel like, but kind of got to help.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Marx has a statement here. He says, "You will never exceed the confines of your own story.
Exactly.
Change the story." Would you say when they come to you? No, no, no. You are not simply a character in another story.
Mm-hmm.
You are the author of your own story. Write your story where you are, the hero that emerges
Oh,
victorious.
yes. 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 Yes.
Write a
Yes.
happy ending.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, you're so right. When you are um Did you say when you're broke, you'll give it all away?
After
No.
you get, like, if you're broke and you start getting out of your brokenness,
Mm-hmm.
somebody, gremlins come to take it, and you give it to them in different forms. You just do, because you feel like, as a bad person, you feel like we all are struggling. Like, I know your struggles, and so I want to help you, and then you leave with nothing. I remember, my business was really booming, and a friend of mine, little brother, came to ask me for money, and he didn't have, and I knew he needed, and I said to him, I could give you, but here's what I'm going to do for you. I've got some t-shirts that I just received. I got about 50 of them. You can, here's the number I want for the t-shirts, and here's the number you can sell it at. The difference is yours. That's how
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you money. Straight up. I said, Junior, if you can do this, the money's yours. And he became a sales guy for me way beyond the t-shirt, because now, once we were sold out of the t-shirts, he was selling whatever I needed to be sold. He became my sales rep. So,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go broke. I didn't take back, lose anything. He went and worked for the money. And you gotta be savvy enough. You gotta really get out to your head, as Mark was saying, out to your store, and just say, hey, I can help you. Like, I know where you are, but here's what you're gonna need to do for me to help you. Give
Mm-hmm.
them ownership of their own lives. Help them get out of it by doing it. I was telling a friend again yesterday, I said, when I came to Canada, we were all sad because I had to let go 8 to 12 employees, 8 full time, and the 4 was casual. They come and go. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
had employees that I had to let go because I really wanted to keep the business going, and I really wanted to leave people in place, but nobody was qualified to keep my standard of the stuff I had. So I let it go. I'd asked my sister, I'd asked people, and people were just afraid. Nobody wanted to take over the business. It was a thriving business, Terry, a thriving business that they didn't need to be broke at all. The business, I'm going to tell you, they didn't have to do the dressmaking part of it that I did, but just the food. My food, I earned over $8,000 a month with the food business I had. I had wholesale and retail.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
This is a gift I was given to somebody that did not take it. Literally did not take. He worked for me.
Okay. I don't know why we do not recognize opportunity. Is it because we're poor?
The poor state, that's what I was saying, the poor state is so hard. And also, within the poor state, there's this expectancy that somebody's supposed to take care of you, and they haven't crossed over that you are in charge of you for yourself, whether you have a mother and a father, whatever. Once you hit a certain age, for me, it was way before I was qualified to be able to take care of myself. I always
Mm-hmm.
still looked at it as a gift, though, not right away. I'm not gonna lie to you, but as I got older, I saw the gift that I got very early in life. I didn't know everybody was unfortunate for it. We're poor as ever, but I feel it was like this gift that my grandmother gave to me, and
Mm-hmm.
it was rough. It was really terribly wrapped up. They had no bow on it. It was awful, but it was such a good coming to Jesus moment, in terms of, hey girl, this is your life, and if you really want to get all the things you want to get, you're gonna have to figure out how to do it. Okay. And it wasn't gifted again nicely, but it would really send me down this road of understanding, Caren, nobody's going to take care of you. If you want a higher education, you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to pay for it. If you wanted to make a lot of money, you're going to have to do it. This is what you're going to have to do, because right now the sea has parted and there's nobody holding you up but God. Plain and simple. So you're going to have to strive for it. And so I used to often be in this place where I'm like, why people don't want opportunities? Like, why wouldn't they, take something that is being given to them? But
Yes.
I know for sure one of the reasons is fear. That's a big one. The second one is like, would I be able to live up to her expectations? That has nothing to do with me. That's what the owners, they're putting on themselves, because when you take over business, it's going to fall. It's going to fall for a couple of reasons. If you have never had a business, because you just don't know. And no matter how much training you get, you're going to doubt yourself. So the business is going to dip, but it's going to come back up. It's just going to dip for a bit and going to come back up, because a business, I think one of the things I like to tell people, a business is one of the best things you can do for yourself. I don't care how your job is oriented. It makes you go inside of yourself, find yourself, see yourself, argue with yourself, be upset with yourself, and get right back out. Businesses teaches you so much things that, and I went to school several times, that school doesn't give you. If your mom and dad just don't give you, business just rip you upside down and then put you back in place. But you have to allow it. You have to allow it. And so problems, it's not like it's a problem, but you don't see it as a problem that it can be solved.
Mm.
Business owners solve problems every day. And you really have to be ready to just solve problems and understand, once I fix this broken cup, there's going to be something else down the pipeline, and I'm ready for it. I might know how, but I'm ready for it. I can do this.
Well, Carlos has a something here. He says it sounds like my past. I did it. It was about how much energy it takes to be poor compared to being rich. Mhm.
And I find it take way more energy to be poor. I find it take way more energy in every area of your life. When you're poor, the energy is crazy that it drags out of you because you don't want to get up in the morning. You get up in the morning, it's not when you're poor, you're not happy, but you get up in the morning and you're smiling on your face. Let's say you're a happy person, because I just was. But when you start thinking about all the things that's happening, it almost like it just dips you for the rest of the day. And you need more energy, as you say, to come back up, right? So it's just one of those things that people used to always be saying to me, like, so what do you want to do about it, Caren? And it left to me a thing that I say to people, like, you got to do something about it. Like, you can't just cry. Like, if you're wearing a slippers and you can't afford a shoe, your only thing should be asking, like, how can I get a pair of shoes? Like, what do I do to get a pair of shoes? Like, how do I get a pair of shoes? And once you get a pair of shoes, don't walk around with the pretty shoes and that's all you do. Like, what's next? Like, could I get a second pair of shoes? Like, could I get a pants? Like, could I get a shirt? And once that's established, then what's next? Stop buying shoes and pants and shirt now. Figure out what's the next step with your money that you're earning. You're never too young to learn. I was making money since I probably was about 6 or 7, but permanent money from the age of 9. And I'm 59. So 50 years ago, I was in business. 50, I can't say this number. I'm always thinking to myself, 50 years ago, I decided that I am not going to be the person who don't have a bank account, don't have no money, always broke, can't pay for nothing, because I watched it around me and people just gang up, hang out, chat, laugh, and then they're back to the same thing the next week. And it's adults, and I'm thinking, you're an adult. Nobody's coming to save you. What is wrong with you? Do something. We can't hear you, Terry.
And I'm so glad the men in the room are speaking up. Mark says, if you continually focus on what is not working and what you do not like, what you do not want, you will be blind to opportunity when it is standing right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Carlos says, when being poor brings you down, the amount of energy wasted in mourning is above and beyond that of reframing and fixing the issues and moving forward. So you're using the energy on the wrong things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
wow. Okay.
Problem solvers understand that everything is temporary.
I see. Well, these guys,
Very temporary.
yeah, they kill us. Yeah.
It's very temporary. I could tell you every single thing that doesn't work and isn't working right now and what's happening, what's going on. But what I have to do is what I got to do. What I have to do is what I got to do, you know. And number 3, it was, how long will I stay in this state? Oh my God. How long will I stay in this state?
Mm.
That's around what I was talking about before. Like, how long do you want to stay where you are? How long do you want to stay in this specific pain? How long do you want to stay here and not move from it? Like, what is it benefiting you? Because it does benefit you something. You're getting some sort of benefit, even though we don't see it. You're getting some kind of benefit from it. That's why you're staying in it, even if you don't realize that's why you're staying in it. You know, no matter how much excuses you make to me, I'm like, okay, but what are you doing? And if you don't know how you can, and at this stage of our lives right now, the internet, I mean, if you don't have the internet, go to the library. If you don't have the library, go somewhere who somebody got the internet and just go and learn all you can and then apply what you learn. Learn all you can and then apply what you learn. The more you search, the more you'll find. The more you want it, the more it'll come to you. You just
Mhm.
have to be willing and allowing. Most people are so closed off, but they don't know that they're closed off. So when I find somebody argue with me about what they can and cannot do, I usually let them because they're not open enough to realize all the things they can do. I
Mhm.
came to Canada and I knew nobody other than my dad that sponsored me. I got a job and I started work. I was friendly enough to talk to the bus driver, and me and the bus driver talking, and he's like, Karen, you can't work 2.5 hours away from where you live. It's wasted time. Even if you're reading, I'm going to get you a job half an hour close to home. And that's, he offered it from just conversation. I was like, okay, thank you. Terry, in 2 days, he got the application. He's like, just apply. My friend will get you the job. I went to
Mhm.
the job. I didn't get the job, but they had another position, washing dishes. It was nothing good to in my book, but I took it at 668.
Excuse
I
me.
took
Mhm.
the opportunity that somebody gave to me, even though that's not what I want. Now the job further was paying me more money, was paying me 850. But when I calculate distance and transportation, I was making more at 668. And now
Yes, because
just
that was what 3 hours you were spending just getting back and forth.
yeah,
But
no
you
five,
really,
2.5, 2.5, like 5 hours, like back and forth. And so I was like, okay, I took the job. I didn't like it initially. I complained for a week. And then I said to myself in the mirror, I said, Karen, this is the job you got. These people around you are very friendly. Talk to the people. I talk to the people. And I allow the people to be my customers. Less
hmm,
than 30 days.
there you go. There you
Because
go.
I'm willing to make the money back up.
Hmm,
I'm willing
hmm.
to get back to the number I wanted, And after, after working there for a couple of months, I started asking myself, so why did you come to Canada? Because you didn't come to make less than money that you made home. Like, what was your purpose? Oh, I came to go to college. Okay, so let's move on that. Let's investigate how we get you there.
Mm.
Nobody's taking you there. Let's find out. Because everybody I asked around me at the time said to me, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. I said, okay, let me go straight to the source. Straight to the source. Call up schools, inquire how I enroll, what the prerequisite, get everything listed, and then find out where I go from there. When I look
Mhm.
at my schedule, I realize I couldn't go to school and go to work because of the time schedule. So I start correspondence school, because
Yes.
you can't send your papers. People in North America do not know this. Most people is educated in the country to whatever level and don't realize that they usually have to come back and start over. Because to bring your papers, whatever you have from your country to at least Canada, it costs you an arm and a leg, and you can't send it. You have to get your school in your university to send it straight to the university. So it can't touch your hand straight to the university in Canada. And it
Mhm.
costs a lot of money to do it. And when you just don't have the money to do it. And, to make sure that you had no handling or whatever with it. Now, in the West Indies, in South America, everything move at a snail's pace. You ask for your diploma and you're waiting for weeks and months to get it to get up here. And I
Uh-huh.
thought to myself, you know what, Karen, if you always say how bright you are, let's put it to the test. So I just went back to high school at 26. I went back to high school. I went out work and just went back to high school for a year because I'm like, okay, I can do this in a year. So I did
Mhm.
high school in a year. 12 months, I buckled my ass down and I sat there, math, English, all the subject, accounting, business, whatever subjects I could take to
Mhm.
lead me into college because I needed prerequisites. I just went back to school,
Okay.
get my high school diploma all over again. I said, okay, that's what you need. Then I needed to go in and write an entrance test. And I did. Right through the process, I got married, I got another kid. And then I went, whatever it is you need to do to get you where you need to be, that's what you're going to have to do. If it means you have to make 100 phone cold calls, that's what you got to do. I don't care how the internet is rolling. Maybe you got to call up a lot of people depending on your business you're in. You
Mhm.
might have to DM a lot of people. You might have to strike up conversation and get into networking. You might have to go out and meet people. You might have to take a job you don't want to take just so you can meet people and exercise your communication and learn to be able to talk to people on every level. So whatever it takes. But if you allow those things, you're going to come out of your broke and poor state of mind because you're going to be working on it and you're going to meet new people and good things are going to happen to you. And remember, all the problems are temporary because if you fix the problem, it was only temporary. It only lasted as long as you stayed in front of the door and guarded and is now willing to move forward. I was living with my dad. My dad said, "Kind, you got to pay rent every 2 weeks." And I was getting paid at the time on the first of the month and on the 15th of the month. They weren't paying every 2 weeks. And he explained why I had to do it. And I sat him down and I said, "I can give you my whole paycheck, but it ain't going to happen. That's just pretty stupid. And I'm not a stupid child. So I'm going to tell you how it's going to go. I'm going to pay you when I get paid. And I can't pay you anymore. Then I'm getting paid." I solved that problem because it was going wrong in my head when he first told me. Of course, I was new to the country and just scared as out of my pants. I did it in fear. I just sat him down and talked to him. And mind you guys, this is a guy that we had no big relationship with. So it was not easy to sit down and tell somebody that you didn't grow up with that I'm not going to pay you that money because I just don't have it. Because there's a chance he could just like throw me out.
Yes.
But that's where I was at. That's where I was at.
Wow.
Everybody got their own story, but that's where I was at. So you got to do what you got to do. You're gonna have to get a little brave and a little bold.
Well, here's what Mark says. Mark says, people wait for the energy to change, not realizing that the change is what will bring you the energy.
Yup.
Yep. Well stated, guys.
Yes.
Well stated. Oh my goodness. So then we have to decide how long we're going to be in this state and recognize that it is a temporary situation.
Very temporary.
Temporary problems. Wow, this was a great this was this was really a great conversation, Coach. I'm put it side by side. I'm really excited that you brought this to the table.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Some of the things we look at seem so permanent.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
You're like you can't get up out of it,
They just seem overwhelming.
Yeah.
But
Trust me, the feeling is valid. We just don't have to accept it.
but they are temporary. Guys, if you are looking to book an appointment with Coach Caren, this is her calendar. You can get on it. I will put a copy in the chat here so that you can, because I'm telling you, sometimes we just need to talk to somebody. My goodness. To get another perspective. Coach Caren can be found on Facebook and Instagram under Profits in Daily.
Yep.
So please go over there. Coach, you said you have a program coming up. Did you want to talk about that?
Just to book it at a time. They can just book a time and we'll talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to know more about our programs, book an appointment and find out what's going on over there at Profits in Daily.
Yes.
Our money mindset coach, Coach Caren Fern, all the way from Toronto, Canada. Coach, we want to thank you for your time. We want to say thank you to everyone who's watching live and on the replay. And we know that you got something from this. Oh, my goodness. Stick with us and learn how to run a profitable business.
That's fun to run.
Tomorrow we'll be talking with Robin Shamizu and friends about happy, healthy habits. And I believe Linus is going to be on. So, she's all about nutrition and she's going to be talking about, the things we can do to live a healthier life. So with that, I want to thank you all. And remember, it's okay to run a profitable business. Okay, guys, have a great day and we will see you soon. Bye-bye. Thanks again, Coach.
You're welcome.